So another topic that I would like to talk about is the roles that we have as men and women. Yeah, this is probably gonna it's one of the deep ones. Um, but I'd like to go through it like not speak mostly to men, and at the same time not speak mostly to women, but like kind of collectively just listen when I'm speaking to a particular group and listen to when I'm speaking to another particular group. So first of all, I think guys, what we have to understand is that women have like as Jordan says, or as he has said, um, a role in life where they're born, and because of the fact that they bear kids, they already have a purpose. So xa izalwa yayazi uba xa ifika mhlawumbi ku-30 35 yayazi uba kusefuneke ndibe nengcuso, funeke ndikhulise umntana, funeke ndibe nefemeli. And that's not just society that says that, it's genetics, it's just the way that it is. The fact that you bear kids, there's a certain time limit that you can or have, a certain time limit where it's best to bear kids. So when a woman is born, they need to have their life in order. So generally, this is like a typical woman's journey, no matter the race, no matter the color, no matter the creed, whatever it is. Um, you kind of you protected, when you're about 0 to 20 years old, and then you get to 20, and then you go to school, and then even then your dad kind of protects you to about 24, 25 when you graduate, or if you go to school, or if you start working, it doesn't matter. But as long as you're under their roof, chances are, again, I'm speaking to like a majority of people. I know majority of people don't get this way, but um, you kind of protect it, and you get to a certain age where you're like, okay, cool. Now, as a female, you want to let loose, and you want to have all of these um, phases that you have in life, but you only kind of really have it when you're 20 or 18 at best, between 18 and 30. And then after that, it's about, okay, well, now the serious questions: when are you gonna have a kid, when are you gonna have family, when are you gonna do this, when are you gonna do that. And a lot of women obviously have kids when they're younger than that, because yeah, women just get born and they try to experience life, and then yeah, they get dealt with a kid. um and then immediately they have responsibilities, immediately they have a direction, they have a purpose. And I think a lot of men don't understand that. A lot of us don't understand the fact that, like, women are really, like, if anyone's dealt a bad card, man, it's women. But I'm not trying to pick sides or anything, but also I think what women need to understand is that the way that men are brought up is like, we don't have any responsibility, we don't have a direction in life, we don't have something that we look forward to. We're literally just born into privilege, kind of thing. um, and by the age of 0 to 50, we can still be adult infants. We're not supposed to, sorry, as people, or as males, we're not supposed to bear kids. We don't get taught of, looking after a child. It's like, ugh, whatever, man, find your life, find your purpose. If you don't, it's cool. That's why a lot of us just become, these deadbeat fathers, or we become, we just look after, we look for women every corner, and we just, find excuses to not settle down, because we don't need to. Why should we if we don't need to? So then what happens is, then we're always looking for fresh girls, fresh women all the time. When I say fresh, I mean in the sense of, or how a guy would put it, fresh is in the sense of like younger girls, because younger girls don't have as much responsibility as older girls. But then older girls are really like, what, like 25 these days, or every day, or not every day, but every generation around 25. And so you find that then guys just keep going for the girls that are not going to ask the pertinent questions. What do you do as a job? What do you do? What's your plan for life? What's this? Guys hate that, because then it's like it forces you to think and to be critical about yourself, and then you don't want that. It's like makes you feel uncomfortable. But it's crucial for girls to know that, because they need to understand they're bearing kids. They're looking for the future. They're looking forward to the future, and they wanna be strong with it. But for us, it's like, nah, whatever, man. If I have a kid there and I have a kid there, then who cares? The mother's there to take care of them. We don't have any direction. So I think, again, keeping with the theme of what I'm always talking about, in the sense that I always want to get to solutions, we need to be the change, man. Like, we need to stop that. We need to stop thinking like that. We need to stop gathering in our little cliques as men, and trying to be like, oh no, yeah, ningusi pa, ningusi apa, yeah, cool, if it's man, yeah, whatever. And it's like, because those kids then grow up to be us, and then they do the same thing, and then more women get mad at men, and then they start, being mad at us, and more mad at us, and then we retaliate, because as a reflex, it's like, well, if you're fighting with me, I'm gonna fight with you back. Then no solution is solved, and then it's just a back and forth thing. Oh yeah, no, you're a deadbeat father. Whatever, you don't take care of the kids, and it's like, we're supposed to, both of us. If you don't want to have a kid, then don't make one. It's your responsibility. It's a woman's and a man's responsibility, and we both need to be taught. As women, we need to be taught that, listen, bro, like, you need to look after yourself. Try not to have kids before 30. That's the main thing as a woman. It's very powerful and it's very difficult, but try not to. Try not to have kids. Try and run after life. Try and travel. Try and get put the world in your palm and just absolutely go wild with it. Don't have kids, because as soon as you have that, then life is going to be difficult. So then, in saying that, the women that do have kids before 30, you know that it's going to be tough. You know it's difficult. You know that you have to look after a kid. You know that chances are you're going to probably meet a deadbeat father. You're going to be with a deadbeat father, or someone that doesn't really care as much as you do. So teach the kids that are coming up that, listen, man, don't make these things, don't make these mistakes, don't have kids when you're young, unless you really, really want to have one. But other than that, try and look for the future. Try and build yourself, try and encompass yourself, and make the world your oyster. And then you don't have to get to a certain age where now you need a man, or you're disrespected by one, and you can't leave them because you have a child with them, and because no, and defunimali support, because, and it's like you just grow to be bitter, and then the kids grow up to be bitter, and then it just keeps happening and happening and happening. So it's another good topic conversation that we can have as male and females. And yeah, it's very interesting, and in every culture it has its own differences, and it has its own implications as well. So yeah, I think we just need to understand each other and kind of understand where we both coming from. I think a lot of the time as men we think that women should be a certain way, and as women women think that men should be a certain type of way, but the reality is we're not. So then why not understand how we are, so that we can understand, oh, okay, well then maybe I shouldn't be doing this and I shouldn't be doing that. Life is tough, man. So a lot of things for women, it's it's very tough. It's literally very tough if you have a child when you're 30. It's not impossible at all. It's not impossible at all. There's probably the strongest women I've ever met in my people that I've ever met in my entire life are women that have kids when they're young, because you have to be a super mom, especially if you're fighting that, you're fighting all these systems, you're fighting men, you're fighting racism, you fight, like, it's just, and then women just have it in them. But if you don't have to be in that role, don't be in it, you know. So yeah, man, like, again, it's just from a place of just truth and honesty, and I'm open to debate. I'm open to being slaughtered if I'm wrong, so that again tomorrow I'll wake up and maybe I'll be in a better mind state. But until then, like, share your views.